The video I was putting up today isn't going up. I actually had fake news being made right on my doorstep yesterday, which I think is newsworthy. And also, of course, Sunak again with what he was saying last night and some other stuff. Want to know more? Watch on. Morning people, welcome back to the channel. This could be a bit of a longer one today. It's not the one I was going to post that I'd pre-recorded that I was going to put up yesterday that was supposed to go up Wednesday. Why? Well, I missed out on a big opportunity yesterday simply because I wasn't informed that this was going to happen. Mrs. Queen's candle for the shit games here in Birmingham came past my front door. Now, I don't give a shit about the games. My opinions on that, the money would have been better spent feeding the families in Birmingham that can't afford to feed their kids, or house some veterans that are on the streets. But what does roll me up was the fakery from mainstream media around this. Now, we've all seen the Queen's candle going round all different places, people lining the streets. Well, let me put you in the picture how this really is happening. And it was that quick that I didn't even have time to set cameras up, or believe me, there'd have been cameras everywhere out the front of the house, upstairs, in the windows and everywhere. But I heard voices outside. Now, I looked out to see several dozen people hanging banners on the railings outside the school. This in itself is nothing strange. The school quite often hang bangers out there to have banners to advertise. Nothing new. And then, about 5 minutes later, I heard more commotion out there, horns blowing, people cheering, clapping. So I looked out, and what do I see? Well, first of all, there was a convoy of well over a dozen Range Rovers, all painted up gaily. Am I allowed to say gaily, use that as a word for bright and fun? I don't know. Nobody knows what words we can use nowadays. But there they were. Police car, police bikes, convoy of 12 or well over 12 Range Rovers and other vehicles, including minibuses. And as this carried on, then all of a sudden there were people lining the paths. Up come the Queen's candle with loads of dodgy looking security dressed very strangely in shorts and pink shirts. We are the management, you can't get anywhere near this. And then they did an interview with whoever they were transferring the candle over to somebody else to carry on. And then they moved on down the road. Once they had gone by, this was followed by another convoy of minibuses, a coach, more police. Well, it turns out that these minibuses and coaches were to ferry around the fake locals that were lining the footpath. And so they've all gone down the road, followed by a load more police cars, followed by another crew in minibuses taking the banners down, obviously to go on to the next location. So basically, every interview the BBC have showed where they're doing this is absolutely fake. I've seen it firsthand. My only regret is I didn't know it was happening, so I didn't have time to set any bloody cameras up. All I got was a couple of stills. This one is the convoy goes off down the road, clearly shows the minibuses, the coaches. And they even had the cheek to block the end of the road off so none of us residents could get in or out for this. It was all done and gone in 10 minutes. Oh, absolute joke. You know, these are the people that complain about fake videos on social media. And I actually stood there, dumbfounded, watching them do their own fake videos. I think out of the lot, I saw maybe 3 of the neighbours out there. This thing is an absolute joke. This morning, they're showing the opening ceremony. What they're not showing is the half-empty arena of people watching the music, or they didn't pan the cameras around behind them to show the empty stands where they'd crowded people all up one end, just for effect. Totally faked. But anyway, the other reason for cutting that video out that I was going to do is because there's been some more news overnight. Oh dear, wishy-washy again. Promising us a Chinese-style digital credit system. So it begins the conversion of the UK into an authoritarian state, if he has his way. Now it looks like they're rolling out 1984, but under a new management, basically. Never accept this. Never consent to this. This will be a death sentence for our country and its people. We're already on death row, if you put it in that context, because of these elites. They've got a loaded syringe, pun unintended there, but happily accepted, and they've got their finger on the plunger. And I did say in a couple of videos that if this carries on, I can see some sort of civil uprising on the horizon. Well, I'm going to go further today, and I'm actually going to go and predict it. There will be some sort of civil uprising if this crap carries on. I mean, you've only got to look at the obscene amounts of profit that the energy suppliers now are making. And they're blaming the price going up of wholesale on these obscene profits. How does that work? I don't see that. And I'm a reasonably intelligent person. And the price cap going up to well over £4,000 in the new year. Sorry about the background noise, people. The neighbours have got a lovely little dog. But this morning he seems to have as much to say about the world as me. So they're going to rob people of even more money when they can least afford it. But then comes the bribe. Now I realise why they haven't made any of these payments of rebates, etc., to our bank accounts. Because they've changed that. They're now going to give monthly credits or rebates on your bill starting in October, going right through till March next year, with varying amounts between 60 and 70 quid. This is just a bribe to keep the people happy. If you're wondering what that's being paid for, it will have to be paid back at some point by somebody, probably by us through taxes, as it's no longer a loan now, it's a rebate, as they've stated. Now, does this sound like someone you want in charge of this country or its people? Does this sound like someone who cares about this country and its people? Not in my book. Definitely not in my book. This is just incoming tyranny and oppression. Now, I did predict a little while back about a summer of discontent. Some of us lived through the 70s with all the strikes, and if you don't know what happened between the public, the police, the unions, the government back then, go and look at it. I don't need to, because I remember it clear as day. Strikes everywhere, and this is happening again. Strikes everywhere. Now, they're bringing in and rushing through new laws at the moment. Some to make it legal for employers to replace the striking personnel to keep things rolling. This is going to cost an absolute fortune, because they'll use agency, which charge twice as much as they pay their regular employees. And they're bringing in, rushing through new laws again to quell any protests. We're heading back to the 70s. This is not going to be pleasant for anybody. Reason being, I remember the way this was dealt with in the 70s, but the police now are twice as violent as they were back then. They are heavily armed. Well, it's not CS gas, it's Parva spray in it. Batons, tasers. Which, yeah, fine. But the biggest problem is they are twice as quick to use violence against members of the public, even innocent members of the public, with absolutely no accountability for their actions. Watch your back, people. This is going to be a real bumpy ride for the rest of this year. I have got loads more here I could report on, but I've just, again, seen the time. I said it was going to be a bit of a longer one today. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there about this fake news that they're putting out around the Commonwealth Games. I mean, I talked to one lady out there as I walked in, I said, absolutely disgusting, and she asked me why. So I bloody told her. I said I would much rather see that money go to starving families in the city and the homeless veterans that are living on our streets. This is an absolute disgrace. If someone wants to go run around a field or swim around a pool, go and bloody do it. I said, don't rob us of money to pay for it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there for today. I've tried to keep myself calm reporting this, just like I tried to keep myself calm out there watching it. It wasn't easy, believe me. You know what I'm like. But, yeah, I just wasn't ready for that, which is a bloody shame. But I'll leave it there for today, guys. Have a lovely weekend. I will be having the weekend off this week. Except for Pap Live Sunday, of course. Hope to see you all in there for the games, the fun, the shenanigans. It's got a lot better now we've gone subscriber only in the chat. But until the next one, as always, thank you for your support. My respects to each and every one of you. And until then, stay safe, stay strong, and fight against everything that these elite assholes are trying to do to us. Respects, guys.